I'm Genesiz, and this is my 5 to 9 story. So 5 to 9 started off as an idea, and then it ended up being a movement. So it comes from the phrase where you work your 9 to 5, and then afterwards you work your 5 to 9. So I would go to work 9 to 5, and then I'd be trying to go to the studio after, and just really still wanting to make my dream work and make myself happy, because I wasn't happy with what I was doing for a 9 to 5. It was what made me miserable. So my only escape was going to the studio in the middle of the night and trying to wake up at 5:30 in the morning to get to work and do it all over again. So it was hard, but it was necessary. When I was a child, it was always a thing. I could just always sing. I started off, my first time, my grandmother heard me in the car, and she's a minister, and she went to go minister at this church, and she like, I want to call my grandbaby up to the stage. And my mom's like, what? She only sings in the car. Like, what? She's going to get up there and freeze. And I got up there with my balls in my head. And I just got on stage, and I never looked back. That was my first encounter with my passion and my dream. And from there, I ended up singing my entire childhood. 13, I won an international competition called AMTC. Then when I turned 16, I did American Idol. Got to end the Hollywood Week.
My name is Genesiz Moore. I'm 16 years old, and I'm from McDonough, Georgia. What made me audition was my parents, and just knowing that this could be a really good experience for me, and it's been going good so far, so I'm really happy. I think that I'm 16 years old, and I have a really kind of deep voice, so that kind of sets me apart, and just me. There's no one else like me.
And yeah, that was really my life. So I spent a lot of time out of school, traveling, doing a lot of different things, but really focused and honed in on my craft.
So hot every time, swinging, eyes closed, just swinging. Same city, same friends if you're looking. Same city, same friends if you're looking.
Then 18, I go to my grandma's house for 1 week. I come back home, and my dad's like, what's wrong with your neck? I'm like, what do you mean what's wrong with my neck? And he's like, your neck is huge. He rushes me to the hospital, and the doctor tells me, you have some type of thyroid disorder. And I later found out it was Graves' disease, and I had a goiter the size of a grapefruit in my neck. So it was my freshman year in college. Had a surgery, doctor went in. They thought it was maybe a little smaller than what it was, but ended up pulling out this huge mass out of my neck. And it put me on ice with singing for years. It affected my confidence more than anything, because when it's like you're growing up and that's all you do, that's your life, that's your heart. And then all of a sudden, you can't do it anymore. But I think it was, again, necessary, because it taught me that I had so many other gifts and talents to give to the world and to the universe, and to how to make those other gifts and talents work for me as a musician and as an artist. So right after my surgery, I would try to sing, and it was like impossible. It's almost scary, like learning how to walk again, or learning how to do some like a basic motor skill. again, and it's scary to hear where my voice was at that time. It just got really nasally, kind of strident. I would go to the studio still trying to, with bandages on, and it just wasn't working. And I had to rest. And that was one of the first times in my life that I actually had to sit down and say, I have to take care of me. And my voice changed, but I kept working at it. And I have a really amazing vocal coach. Her name is Amitria Dot. And she really nursed me back to health vocally, as well as with my confidence. So I've been working with her for I'd say 5 years now. So now when I listen to my voice, I can pick and see some differences from before and then after the surgery, but it all worked together for my good because I gained things that I didn't have as far as in my higher register before, and now it's, I still got my tone, but it was an adjustment for sure. And I think for me, it was something that I needed to know that I could do. I can do it once, I could do it forever.
Okay, first of all, my name is Black. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. Been here in Atlanta for about 4 years now, maybe 5 years. I met Genesiz in December 2018. So when we first started working together, it was, just to get in a couple sessions here and there. We worked on one record, and I think we all really felt the vibe. Me, Genesiz, and 3D, we felt the chemistry. So we were we wanted to kind of do it long term, and so we sat down and kind of talk through the terms and talk through expectations, and then we just started locking in days, a few times a week. Just, we set aside some time to get in with each other and start building. And Genesiz is an artist that we both like to work with just because she's so involved in the sound. They're, different types of artists, but, a lot of artists kind of just pre-made beats and they want to just come in right to a few beats and then lay their records down. Nothing wrong with that. But Genesiz is the kind of artist that's gonna get in with you from what we call from metronome to master, right? So that means from the click of the metronome where you have no instruments, where it's just an empty track and she's explaining to you, this is what I've been going through today. This is what happened with the fam today. This is kind of how I'm feeling. This is what I want to put on the record, and then we start to make that into music, turn that into music. I start probably with a melody or with a bass line or something.
Don't make me do it on that hot fire.
Where are you recording?
On that hot, we at Villains headquarters right now, you know what I'm saying? Deep in Buckhead, shouters, you know what I'm saying?
Back in Atlanta. This is gonna be funny. We're gonna look back on this in a couple of years and it's gonna be funny. Yeah, something like that.
What'd you do?
Dun, 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 dun. I did something like that. I would love to see that.
That'd be a vibe.
That's so crazy because that's the second time today somebody's mentioned something to me about Carnival. But I've just never been. Huh?
That shit would be a vibe.
That would be. That would be. But I appreciate y'all telling me it's trash.
I mean, yeah, we're gonna keep it real.
Pretty throw the drums on it, and we just loop it, brainstorm some concepts, and it usually comes from whatever we had talked about early in the session. That's what the song ends up being about. So it's the process that I like being involved in. I love working with artists that want to actually build a sound and not really just say, oh, Rihanna just dropped this hot single, let's do something like this. And we go through a few beats we already got, it's never that situation. So it's always fun times.
You took my heart away.
One more time.
I'm gonna bring it a little closer.
All right.
You took my heart away. Now Now you got me open. No love is all you say. It was all for nothing. What do I do now? What do I do when the good love winds down? What do I do now? 'Cause now you got me in checkmate. Let me hear it.
Say that again.
I cannot hear with these phones on, this headphone. Lord, when I tell you, I don't know if I just sound really rough today or what.
And I feel like sometimes I'll be like, oh, I have an idea. Just take some time.
All night,
Alright, before we get to that part, try with the,
You are funny.
like, woo!
Like over here.
Well, yeah, try it right there. After the part that we said we liked.
Hey, what's up, man? It's your boy 3D, one half of Creative Villains. From Jacksonville, Florida, currently stay in Atlanta. We've been working with Genesiz for about a cool 6 months, man, and it's really been, you know, a dope process just to really meet an artist that, you know, we didn't know from a can of paint, and just to see how we all kind of came together and formed a chemistry so quick, you know what I mean? Like, for instance, you know, a lot of times, and in Genesiz' case, I know she doesn't really write, and a lot of artists don't write on the spot, but, you know, just with us kind of having that chemistry and her really entrusting in us, that was one thing that was big if I go back. Like, when we met, you know, I'm quite sure she was working with some different people, but the fact that she kind of came to us and was like, all right, guys, this is what I need. We can lock in XYZ amount of sessions a month. You know what I'm saying? And I really want to entrust in y'all to help me just not only build this project, but like build my sound for the future. That was big, you know, because people will hit you up for beats all the time, but to really want to take it a step further and like progress your sound, that meant a lot to us. So that was dope. And to go back where I was at, I kind of felt like with her, you know, not really writing, I wanted to kind of pull that out her, because it's like, now you're trusting us, you're giving us your concepts, but I want to make sure that even if it's not me, if you're bringing in another writer, that it's just not something that they're coming up with. It still has to be a reflection of Genesiz at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
So I really like where we are so far.
It's more fun when I'm with you. It's not what we started, but I'm down for what you choose.
And this is really the situation we just talked about.
Literally.
You know you're not the only.
Oh, you did say that when we was at the coffee spot. You did say that.
You'll never
be in any of my songs.
You'll never get a spot on my record.
And the whole
And look
song.
at me. I miss you!
You're an artist. You're an artist.
You'll never know.
So just really being able to kind of have her in on the production, have her in on the songwriting, have her in just, like Black was saying earlier, on every step of the process from metronome to master. I feel like that's really helping us kind of cultivate a one-to-one sound for Jen. And I think it's going to be really dope once we get to the end of the tunnel. Like the way you was just like, damn, do I really want to say that? You wouldn't even think about that. It'd be like, fuck it, this is who I am, this is what I do.
Right, you're
You
right.
know? And
They
then
gotta
you a
be
girl
honest.
too. I think
And
you
that's
do
why I
look
feel
honest.
myself.
Men are afforded those options that women aren't.
Right.
Sometimes.
But I'm just saying, it's like, you know, as a woman, you still want to, we're taught to still be tasteful with whatever we say. But we'll see. I told myself, though, when we did this project, I was like, I'm going to be very, very open and honest about who I really am, who I've evolved to be.
The villains are coming.